Okay, let's talk about finding the measures of a missing angle of a triangle. So the most important thing you need to remember that's going to be so important in this unit, and it's going to keep going and going, and it's an important thing to remember, is this. All three angles of a triangle always add up to 180 degrees. Every single triangle that has ever existed has had three angles, and when you added those three angles together, they add up to 180 degrees. That is what you need to take away from this lesson more than anything else. All three angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So let's look at the triangle on the board. We can see it's angles A, B, and angle C there. And on top it says find M, a weird symbol, and a C. The M stands for measure. Sometimes when you're asked to find an angle, they'll use that M, and that M means measure. This symbol right here in front of the C means angle. If we were in the classroom, I could point to it up on my wall, but we are not. So that symbol means angle. So this means find the measure of angle C. That's what that means. So I'm trying to find angle C right there. I need to figure out what this angle is. And what I can do is, if I know two of the angles in the triangle, I can figure out the third, because I know all three add up to 180. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the two I know, angle A and B. So 120 plus 34. Obviously, you could use your calculator, but if I'm doing this, I'm just going to do it by hand here. It was 154. So I know those three angles add up to 154 degrees. Those two angles, sorry. And since I don't know the third, but I know all three add up to 180, I can do 180 minus 154 to figure out that that missing angle is 26 degrees. So that angle right there is 26 degrees. And notice I put the degree symbol because this is an angle and it's like labeling. I need to label. It's 26 degrees. So again, all three angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. All right, let's look at our next example. So this one says find the measure of angle BCA. So whenever you see three letters like that, the middle letter is what matters in that that's the angle. So BCA, we're talking about finding this angle. And obviously it makes sense because we know the other two angles, angle B is 60 degrees, angle A is 40 degrees. But we're trying to find angle BCA. Now notice, if I said find the measure of angle ACB, it's the exact same angle. So an angle can have more than one net name. I also could say find the measure just of angle C, and that would work as well. All three of those things written on the board are the same. They all mean the same thing. So I need to find angle C here, measure of angle BCA. And to do that, I'm going to add up the two angles I know. 60 plus 40 is 100. And then since I know all three angles add up to 180, I'm going to do 180 minus 100 and figure out that missing angle is 80 degrees. So angle BCA is 80 degrees. All right, next up, I'm going to find the missing angle here. So in this one, I don't have any letters, but now you can see the missing angle. And so I can see here I got 40 and 70. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add up to 180. So if I know two of the angles, I'm going to add those up. 40 plus 70 is 110. And then if I know all three angles add up to 180, I'm going to do 180 minus 110, and I get 70. So that missing angle is 70 degrees. All right, let's keep going here. So my next one, find a measure of angle UWV. So if I look at the letters UWV, W is the middle letter, I'm trying to find this angle here. And I only have one number written in this triangle, but I can see that at the angle U, there's a box. Remember, that box means a right angle, and a right angle is always 90 degrees. So now I do know two of the three angles. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add those up. 90 plus 51, I add those up. I get 141. I know all three angles of a triangle add up to 180. So I do 180 minus 141, and I get 39. So angle UWV is 39 degrees. All right, continuing on. Let's look at this one. This one's kind of weird. So it says find the measure of angle B, but I've only got one angle there. I know this top angle is 50 degrees, but I don't know this the bottom left angle. Wasn't given that information. But I was told the two sides that are going up and meet at the top, they're both 1 centimeter. If those sides are 1 centimeter, if they're both the same, that means this is an isosceles triangle. And if this is an isosceles triangle, this side and this side are equal. That means this angle and this angle are equal. So angle B and this other angle over here to the left, they have to be the same. And if they have to be the same, what I can do is, I know all three angles of a triangle add up to 180. So I can take 180 and subtract the one triangle I do know, or the one angle I do know, which is 50 degrees. Do that, I get 130. So now I know angle B and this other angle here to the bottom left, they have to add up to 130, but they also have to be the same thing. So what I can do is I can do 130 divided by 2. I do that, and I get 65. So that tells me that angle B and this other angle, they're both 65 degrees. And I can check myself by doing 65 plus 65 plus 50, and I will get 180. So that works. All right. Next, we were asked to find the measure of angle GEF. So I need to find this top angle right here. But I'm not given any angles at all. I wasn't told what angle G is. I wasn't told E. I wasn't told F. The only thing I was told, though, is all three sides are exactly the same because they all each have one tick mark. So if all three sides are the same, this is an equilateral triangle. And if I have an equilateral triangle, if all three sides are equal, all three angles have to be exactly the same too. So if I know all three angles are the same, and I know all three angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees, what I can do is I can take 180 and divide it by the three angles that are equal. So 180 divided by 3 is 60. So I know that all three angles of this triangle, of this equilateral triangle, are 60 degrees. And that's true for every equilateral triangle. Every single equilateral triangle has 3 60-degree angles. All right, that is it for this lesson.